welcome back to The Funny Thing Is. I'm your host, Nicole Birch, where every episode I bring you someone who shares a life-changing event, the medicine they took to get better, and the funniest lesson they learned along the way. Today is no exception. I have a great friend of mine who's also a tremendous actor. You know him from Major Crimes, The Closer, General Hospital, and he's a 2-time Emmy winner. He's my favorite person, Robert Gossett. How are you?
You're my favorite
You're my favorite person. I just want to read this. So I went through your Wikipedia just to see, because you've been doing this for so long, like early 80s, right? I'm just going to read you guys just some of the shows he's been on. This isn't even film. This is just TV. The Cosby Show, Quantum Leap, Cheers, Hanging with Mr. Cooper, NYPD Blue, Melrose Place, Diagnosis Murder, Touched by an Angel. Let's see. We also have Beverly Hills 90210, Seventh Heaven, Sister Sister, Charmed, Dark Angel, Judging Amy. God, I miss that show so much. Yes, Dear, NYPD Blue, Crossing Jordan, The Closer. Then, of course, I said Major Crimes. You also did 3 episodes of Young and the Restless.
Yes, I did.
Which I didn't know that. And then you did Chicago Med, Greenleaf, and then most recently General Hospital.
Yeah.
That's a freaking resume, man.
It's a resume. All those shows are pretty old, though.
Yeah. And then you did, but like
which means I'm old.
Yeah, but you were also like you were such a featured player in Major Crimes and then The Closer.
Yeah.
And those ran for multiple seasons. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think altogether 13 years.
Yeah. So that's why some of those might feel old, but it's because you were working. You know what I mean?
Because I was stuck on one show.
Yeah. And then Broadway.
Yeah.
I didn't know you did Broadway.
Yes.
Is that how you started?
I started in theater.
Okay.
In New York. I didn't start on Broadway.
Yeah.
Actually, I started in street theater.
Okay.
Performing on the streets of New York City, the Bronx and Brooklyn.
Oh my gosh.
It was an anti-poverty program, I guess they would call it back then.
Okay.
I was a teenager and they'd pay you $45. You can clean the parks or, work with kids. It was a summer job. Pardon me. Or you can do this project that Geraldine Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. She had started this Everyman Theater Company, it was called.
Okay.
And they had a theater company in every borough, Bronx. So I was in the Bronx Everyman Theater.
Oh my God. How old were you when you started that?
14.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
How did you know you wanted to do that?
Well,
because that feels like a life-changing thing. Yeah.
You could clean the subways or you could do plays in the street, which had lots of girls. So I was like, I'll be with them.
Okay, I love that.
And I loved it. But seriously, I at that point, I had started performing arts high school.
Okay.
In New York and as a music major.
Okay.
And there they had drama and dance. And
right.
So I knew drama was something kids did. Up until that point, I'd never thought about it.
When did you make the leap to this is something I want to do career-wise?
Then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. The play I did was called Prodigal Daughter, written by J.E. Franklin.
Okay.
Directed by a man named Arthur Wilson.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
I remember all that as if I remember that more than anything. And that, I don't know, I felt like a power.
Yeah.
That I had a voice. It gave me voice. And then, the civil rights era was in full bloom.
Right.
And these plays spoke to that and spoke to the Black experience.
Right.
And I felt I had something to say, and I was able to say it through theater, through this collective art. I mean, it's not just me.
How long were you with the collective? How long were you with that?
I did it that summer.
Okay.
It was a summer job. But from that, I started branching out to other community theater groups like East River Players, that was headed by a man named Michael Whitaker, the African American Acting and Speech Theater, Ernie McClintock, then the Afro American Total Theater, Hazel Bryant's group, and I became members of all those companies.
Yeah.
and I just started pursuing acting. I guess it's like getting bitten, like they say, the proverbial bug.
Right.
And I was bit. I was
Did you
smitten.
start TV and film in New York, or did you just move to LA? Like, how'd that?
I did commercials.
Oh,
in
okay.
New York, a lot of commercials.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, while I was doing theater, once I committed to it after high school, and I graduated a PA. I was still a musician, so I still chose to major in music in school, but I wound up finding the theater workshop at the school, and so I became president of that, of course. And
now, music, what instruments did you play?
Clarinet, saxophone.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is that what you're supposed to play on General Hospital too?
Yes, actually.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Was that part of their cast? Have you played that on the show?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think
okay.
because it was kind of weird that they wanted me to be a clarinet jazz musician.
That's perfect, dude. That's so great. Okay. So then you come to LA.
Yeah.
How old were you then?
Oh, then I was a full adult. I had done all kinds of regional theater work.
Okay.
I went to the I ultimately switched majors, and I went to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. It's a 2-year conservatory program. After that, I started in regional theater all around America, everywhere. Okay. Milwaukee Rep. And I did years of that. So I graduated AADA when I was in 76. And I did theater all the way up until 88. And I came out here with Fences.
Wow.
Yeah.
I saw that. I saw that it was Fences on there.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I came out with...
I would have loved to have seen you in that.
With James Earl Jones, Lynn Thigpen. She played Rose.
Oh, my God.
Out here. And once I got out here, I liked it. I stayed. I just didn't even go back.
Yeah.
They housed us at the, what's that called? Oakwood Apartments on Barham.
Yeah.
So we were housed there, and the show closed. And why am I going back to New York?
It's too cold.
It's too cold. So I just stayed, and it worked out. Yeah. Aaron Spelling. Mm-hmm. He was the first producer. He hired me.
That's a pretty big one.
And he liked me. He just put me in his... That's why...
Melrose Place, 90210,
all those shows. And Robert, you're going to do this. You're going to do that.
Oh, awesome. I mean, gosh, if you got the ear of anybody, that's who you want.
Thank God for Aaron.
That's great.
And I guess the rest is...
on Wikipedia.
Yeah, IMDb history.
Yeah, you and I met at a bar I was bartending at probably 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
Yeah, 15.
So Pineapple Hill in Sherman Oaks, which I still bartend there occasionally. Yeah. And I feel like you're my holiday host because I've spent, I think, 2 4th of Julys and maybe 3 Thanksgivings
at my house.
Yeah, at your house. Yeah, and it's like, it's just the energy of that whole place is just like chill. There's always good food.
Yeah.
You put on a great.
Yeah, at that time, Michelle was doing the cooking.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But we're not together now. Yeah. So you won't be getting food if you come over.
I'll bring it. How about that?
Good,
it's still a great ambiance.
Because I'm starving. Thank you.
I'll bring you some food. I'll bring you some food.
No, I think I've been here enough anyway.
Okay, so for the podcast, what's a life-changing event that you'd want to share?
Well, there are several. I mean, that have, I believe, changed my life. Having children was life-changing. Of course, it gave.
Did you always want to be a dad?
I think so. I didn't know.
Right.
But once you have...
That's how I am, yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
It is like, it gives you purpose, or you understand what your real purpose is.
Yeah.
In this whole thing we call life. So
even like with the entertainment industry, like I did not want kids. And then when I had Everly, I was like, oh, it's just different. And that's not to say anybody who doesn't want kids, if you don't want kids, don't have kids. But it just elevated it to a different... like almost on a spiritual level, like what a bigger purpose it serves. Yeah.
There is a spiritual component to it. I didn't catch Caleb when he came out. Pardon me. But in the delivery room, when they handed me Caleb, I could see, or at least I thought I saw, generations of my family washing over him. Like I saw glimpses and images, and it was like on a
oh my gosh,
like on a reel.
Yeah.
And I was watching, and it was, I could have just been so taken with the whole delivery process, watching what women go through, and it was that was intense as well. But holding him in my arms, I saw my grandfather, my father, my mother,
oh my God, that's beautiful.
And I guess they're all in them, so they're in our children.
Yeah, all little spirits in one.
So having children was one, but then losing children also. Michelle and I, we lost our firstborn. She was born premature.
Oh, I don't think I knew that.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, she was our first. I was working in Canada, and Michelle came up to visit, and she came as she was born there, and she lived for 31 days.
Oh my gosh!
There were issues she couldn't overcome. She passed on. So
oh my gosh!
I always felt like she came, looked, and said, "Fuck this place, I'm out."
I'm leaving. I'm going back.
I'm going back. It's way too much.
Yeah.
But that was Haley, and then Luke, my son, a terrific young man.
I love Luke.
I know everyone loved Luke, and he passed on a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Was it 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. 2 years ago, November.
Yeah. Yeah, he was, if I could describe it, both your boys are so tall.
Yes, he was like 6'7".
Holy cow, so tall.
Yeah.
Did they get it from either side? Like, whose side did they get that from? Because you're not short, but 6'7's like...
It's huge. It's huge.
Yeah.
And Michelle's dad was tall. And I know my father passed when I was very young, so I don't...
Right.
I can't figure how tall he was, but my grandfather, his father, and Lou Gossett is very tall.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
right.
So that side of my family is tall as well.
I mean, he was so tall, but like gentle giant.
Yeah, he was.
Because he was so tall, but he was
such
so
a loving,
sweet.
loving.
He's like kind of like a little hippie in him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And I remember the funeral, because there's the way I knew him because he worked at Pineapple. Mm-hmm. And then I knew him from a Thanksgiving. I think at least one Thanksgiving. I don't know if he was at, I'm sure he probably would have been at all of them. But, and then maybe a 4th of July. Mm-hmm. And him and Caleb are both just like the sweetest. And at the funeral, they showed his poetry. Yeah. And was he a singer too?
Yeah, he was an artist.
An artist?
Yeah.
They showed his art and the gift on each level of those things. If you just took him by himself. His poetry was
amazing.
His poetry was ridiculous.
That's a wonderful thing that people can leave something they created. Because I feel like, he is still here, but you can see his work, and I have his artwork up in the house, and his poetry was so amazing. I wish I should have brought some of it for you.
But even and also his artwork, like you look at that and I'm like, even if that was just his one talent, that would have been plenty.
And the artwork he did, well, I never knew he had that in him. He was he had gone to Crespi and he got kicked off of the sports team because that was Luke. I mean, Luke tried to play football. And the coach said, Robert, I couldn't keep him on the team. They had what they call two-a-days. I'm not a sports person, but he had just gotten on the team, so he had to work out in the summer before school. He didn't like that because he liked surfing.
Yeah.
But he had gone to practice, and I guess some kid had come late for practice, and they had done the whole practice, and the coach said, okay, because he was late, not Luke, but because this kid is late, you all have to run around the track 5 times. And he said,
and Luke's like, I'm out.
I'm not doing that.
That's not fair.
I wasn't late. I'm not doing it.
I mean, honestly, yeah, that makes sense.
He said, Luke started walking. He said, Luke, if you walk off this field, you walk off the team. Luke dropped his stuff.
He's like, bye.
I'm going to Zuma Beach. I'll see you.
Get on a super board immediately.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, and then he was also an exceptional chef.
Yes, he was.
And during the pandemic, he was trying to get that thing off the ground where he was doing private cooking during the pandemic, Malibu views anywhere.
He would because he was an avid camper and hiker.
Yeah,
he knew all the nooks and crannies in the mountains, and also as a surfer, he knew beaches probably where he wasn't even supposed to be
going. Yeah,
and he did that. He would take his stoves and whatnot, and just do this incredible like 5-star 5-course meal in the middle of nowhere. And he was able and he was charging people $500 a couple. One funny thing.
And I mean, 500 seems cheap compared. Like I think his Instagram might still be active, but some of the videos of people that were like, the meals were insane.
Yeah. And who was that actor? Robert Patrick. He and his wife, Robert Patrick was in the Terminator. I think he was.
Oh, yeah.
And he and his wife celebrated their 30th wedding anniversary.
That's right.
On the beach.
Yeah.
And he was licking the plate.
He was like,
the best. But he started from that, getting private chef jobs in people's houses.
I don't think I knew that. Yeah, I mean, good for him because he could cook.
But he was so different. Like, you call him a hippie. He would put his pots and pans in the luggage, like what you bring on a plane.
Yeah.
I said, man, you need some help.
More professional.
Pots are in here. And he would just.
He was such a spirit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I mean, of course you know what I mean, but like, he's just so, I think, ethereal. There was something about him that was.
His girlfriend, Jackie, told me there was a homeless guy out in Zuma Beach who, when he found out, because Luke had this homeless guy he would do all that investing too there because he traveled the world.
Right.
Luke traveled Switzerland, Italy, France, all by himself. He just he always liked doing things by camping all up and down in Canada and America. But he had gotten a stock tip from this homeless guy. And it paid. Yes, and it paid. So he came back and he found a homeless guy. And the homeless guy told Jackie that, he came and gave me hundreds of dollars and said that tip paid off. Thank you. This is a commission on that.
That feels
and
so
the homeless guy never forgot that.
My God.
So when he heard that he passed, she said he just broke down.
Oh. And that was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Did you see it coming? No.
Not at all.
No.
Not at all.
How have you guys... I can't imagine that at all. And we almost lost Everly last year, and that's an almost. And so I can't even imagine the trauma, what that is like.
It's a gut punch.
Were you and Michelle you guys weren't together then?
Right, we were separated.
How did you guys do grief counseling?
We're still doing grief counseling.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's that been like?
That's helpful.
Okay.
I recommend that. I think it's...
Did you like it from the beginning, or did it take time?
No, I wasn't... yeah, I come from a neighborhood culture, whatever, that, oh, you going to the cuckoo doctor? What you going to the cuckoo doctor? You cuckoo?
The cuckoo doctor.
So, but it's not that. It gives you a space where you can just be you and experience you and understand what this trauma was, what this tragedy really is, without having to defend your feelings or defend yourself. Or
is it a group like where other people share theirs? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think that that's beneficial, or is?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because when a trauma like this happens, you really think it's just you, but trauma is happening all over. They think of those, kids who were taken hostage in Israel, or the kids in Gaza who are killed, or in Africa, or wherever. There's trauma that people are losing their children all over the world every day.
Right.
And it's awful, and it hurts like hell.
I didn't know that you'd also lost a daughter.
Yeah.
Wow, that's insane.
But what I've learned to do, Nicole,
Please.
is thank God for the time I had with Luke.
Yeah. 24
years. 24 wonderful years. Yeah. There's so many things I think about and laugh, because Luke enjoyed life and he lived it to the fullest.
Yeah.
He would go camping by himself, and he'd be gone for a month. Like, what the fuck, dude?
Where are you?
Where are you? And he'd be off there. And so I'd say, well, do you meet anybody when you're out there in the wilderness? He says, Dad, I meet myself every time.
Oh.
And if you listen to his poetry, he had this poem about California. I wish I had it.
You know what? Give it to me when you do get it. Or if you can find it, find it.
I don't know.
If not, I can add it into the episode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
Because he also, while you're looking at that, I'll just tell the viewers, his poetry is like from an 85-year-old man. Like he was wise beyond his years. He did not carry himself like a 24-year-old. He did not act like a typical 24-year-old. And he traveled the world. I think one of his most recent posts was he was in Paris or Amsterdam, and he ran into somebody from LA.
Yeah.
And he's like, I just run into people all the time. And I'm like, you're in Paris running into these people?
No, that was in Venice.
Oh, it was in Venice. That's right, Venice.
That's him in Italy, too.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Here, I'll have you send me that photo so we can show what he looks like.
Oh, here. Here's one. I'll read it.
Please.
Okay. I'm going to try something new here and see how it goes. A letter to you, California. Where to even start? You're gorgeous. Laying lazy, lapsing along silky Pacific sheets. Coastal cliffs erected from sandy skin, entangled gently by the grapevines growing long, long, until your fumbling son finally sleeps somewhere beyond the depths of your open ocean. Your nose breathes a wind so soft it arouses a braille on my skin. I'm convinced only you can read as you run your nails along my arms. You've whispered back a wisdom that only you could grasp through the secrets you possess encoded in the ancient language you speak. You know my truth. You are my truth. Your trails run rocky, rugged, yet righteous, and for that alone I owe my soul to chasing granite peaks and pine trees, evergreens and tumbleweeds. Oh yeah, and your deserts. Your deserts open a window to the stars, lights which twinkle to expose the thought flow of the universe, of battles fought, lost, and won all at once. So when your sun finally rises and you whisper me awake, you remind me that it is time for another mountain must be climbed. I realize now it was you who raised me. I realize now it will be you who must bury me. The love I possess for you is brawny and brazen as Yosemite's peaks. It will stand forever as a rock stands in time. Love, Luke T. Gossett. If you, and then here's a little note, if you made it this far and feel like leaving some constructive criticism, that'd be sweet.
It's so good.
And then there was one, I don't know.
He was so talented.
There was another one. I don't know how to get out of this. But, oh, yeah. This one I've avoided. I don't know why.
Okay.
But I don't know. But now I get him. I get what he was saying. He says here, I am nothing, and so I am all. I am not merely a body encased in skin, nor my essence restricted merely to the confines of my mind. I am not simply a mass of feeble, frantic nerves. My sight not only from these eyes, which I call mine, my taste not only from this tongue, nor my soul fit solely for this meager experience which I call life. I am the trees changing seasons. I am the ocean back home, the moist and salty air that sits on the Pacific. I am the moon and the stars, the mountains, the rivers, and the streams. They're all a piece of me. I am the homeless, the native, the slave, and the oppressor. Within me is the breath of all who have lived, their thoughts, and oh, man. Of course.
Oh, no.
All who have lived, their thoughts and experience, knowledge and wisdom. Close your eyes, and I am you. Close your eyes and realize you are all too. I mean, this cat was...
Holy cow.
He was off, man.
Especially after all that, that's a huge piece of him to still have.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And he has other writings and stories. He wrote a book. He was writing a book when he was a kid. And that's when you finally realize this little boy, because he was in elementary school.
Yeah. And he was writing a book.
He was writing a book, and he talked about this girl walking in to the lunchroom with a Fanta bottle body. and when you thought of it, I said, is he trying to show?
Yeah, instead of hourglass, it's way better. That's a way better description.
The Fanta bottle body. I laughed and said, what do you know about Fanta bottles and women? And talking about her eyes and stuff.
Oh my gosh. What a gift.
Yeah. Yes.
So you're 2 years after. How does it feel, just for people that are also going through it? How does it feel at the 2-year mark compared to before?
It feels smaller. Okay. It's not as large.
Right.
As it was, but it's definitely still there. It's still there in the quiet of night. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's, when the lights are out and you're trying to fall, it's there. But what I've kind of come to, and this helps me, I don't know if it helps, is just trying to live in a better way. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? A friend of mine, I keep hitting this, sorry. A friend of mine had said, James Duff, he had said, the hole in your heart is going to be huge, but you can make it smaller by growing your heart larger.
I love that.
So that's what I've been attempting to do. Is grow my heart larger. And I feel that gives me solace. It gives me peace.
Yeah.
And just understanding, we have our egos and stuff, but I ultimately came to the conclusion, why am I doing all this swag, all this bullshit?
Yeah.
I'm a nice guy.
You are.
Own it.
You're the nicest guy.
Just own it and love it and be that.
Yeah.
Because that's who I really am.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's been an honor to be like a friend of yours and get to know you over there.
Same here, Nicole.
Whenever you show up, and you come to my stand-up comedy specials, you've done all the tapings.
I do.
They always say you want a friend that will speak your name in a room full of opportunities. And I'm like, if somebody needed a comedian, Robert would be like, I know somebody. Because you already have. You already do it.
That's right.
And I sing.
You are funny as hell.
Yeah.
You're funny as fuck.
And I sing your phrases as well. And it's also not just that I think you're a tremendous actor. It's that whatever room you go into, you make it brighter. Like your voice, your essence, and also as a bartender for years, when somebody walks into the bar that can you're like, ooh, that person's going to be a problem, right? I know if they belly up to you, they won't be a problem anymore because you have a thing about you that just like kind of dissuades any conflict. Like if anybody wants to have beef or something, or like just start to walk into a bar and start a fight or something, you just have this thing where you're like, oh no, we're not going to do that, man. We're just going to be here. We're going to chill. We're having a good time.
Yeah, that's
do you know what I mean? Like, and that's like, I think who you are to like everybody.
Really?
That I've seen.
Okay,
yeah.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
That's good to hear.
Yeah. And you can talk to anybody, anytime, any place.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
My girlfriend says that you start conversations with
anybody.
I'm always curious about people.
Yeah,
I'm always
same.
interested in other people.
Same.
I like people.
What are you looking forward to this holiday season?
Quiet.
I'm
going to be by myself.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to, Michelle and Caleb and I, we're going to have dinner Christmas Eve, but Christmas Day, I'm going to be home.
Chilling.
I was thinking about, I don't know, once you have children or you're married, the holidays kind of, it's a communal thing. So it's kind of, like if you, you don't do things by yourself. Like,
that's true.
If I wanted to go for a hike I haven't gone hiking by myself, which I would do. But when you have a family and you wake, hey, I'm going for a hike. Can I go with you, Dad?
Yeah.
Okay, come on. And then it's, oh, well, I'm going to come. And then, well, if we come, we need water. Let's say, oh, we should pack a lunch too.
Yeah,
and
it's a whole thing.
And if you, I always like going to the movies by myself, but you going to the movies by yourself?
I love going to movies by myself. I love it.
You turn around to your significant other, we going to the movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not taking me?
Yeah.
Let's go.
People asked me, what are you going to do for your 40th? This was a couple years ago. And I was like, oh, I'm going to Two Bunch Palms in Palm Springs. And they're like, oh, with who? And I'm like, by myself. And they're like, you're not going to have a big party. And I was like, no, Mama needs to be alone.
Isn't that great?
Getting a massage in the desert, in nature by yourself. You know who'd approve of that? Luke would approve of that.
Oh, that was like his little camping thing. He'd run out there to, what's that called? Joshua Tree.
Yeah.
In fact, we spread some of his ashes out there.
Yeah.
And like 30 plus kids showed up, and they camped out there for 3 days. And me, of course, I got an Airbnb. I ain't sleeping now.
I will say it was the most, not that you want to have a funeral in the first place, but holy cow, standing room only. The speeches, the people that read his poetry, the artwork, the even the video that they showed, everything was phenomenal.
And that was all just friends who gathered.
And when I say standing room only, they had to keep opening parts of the back up and like extending it out into the yard.
350 people.
Oh, easy.
Yeah.
Easily.
Because the programs or whatever. And they were all gone. And people did not get programs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I remember. In fact, the parking, it was at.
I think I parked a mile away, and it was so worth it. I mean, it was like, again, the most beautiful, and the location was beautiful too.
Yeah, hillside.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is a Jewish cemetery. But
yeah. I was like, I don't think we're at the right one. I'm like, just keep going.
No. That was like my friend, Robert, his wife, Lori, worked there, and you're having his service at Hillside. I said, it doesn't matter, Robert.
Let me take care of it.
They took care of everything. It was so wonderful. Everything, because although we did cremate them, we had a private viewing for family.
Right.
So they embalmed and did everything. It was just, it was quite a time. A lot of people, like you said. Did you come to the house afterwards for the repast?
No, I don't think we did. Yeah.
Yeah, the house was just bursting.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
Yeah. But we had a family. People came from a friend of mine who played for Notre Dame. He played Tom Riley. He lived across the street from us when, not in Calabasas' house, but in Van Nuys.
Okay.
Years ago.
Yeah.
He heard about it. He next morning after it had happened, I heard, and he had come from Florida.
Yeah.
He had been in Florida for maybe 20 something, and he just jumped on a plane.
Yeah.
People came from New York. People came from all over.
Yeah. I got a call because you'd called me at like 4:00 in the morning and left a message. And like I woke up and I saw your number at 4:00 in the morning. And you could think, oh, maybe this person just having a party, like, or something, and I was like, I knew something immediately, something bad. But I think this holiday season, I think you need to tap into Luke and do the solo thing by yourself on your
Christmas
own.
Day. I'll be home by myself.
There you go.
Watching some football.
That's right. That's good. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you. All right.
Give me the opportunity.
Yeah, always.
Share.
I love you so much.
I love you more.
Oh. All right, guys. Thank you. That's it for the Funny Thing Is podcast. You can also follow me at Nicole Birch Comedy on all your socials. We'll see you next time.